You know me, it's that MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact, back here with the new favorite weekly wrestling roundup podcast. This is Calling the Spot, episode 7. Probably should have checked that before we started recording, but we'll go with it. Uh, you know the deal here. Talk about everything pro wrestling, it's all positive pro wrestling. And as you can see, or you've probably seen on the episode title, I am not alone. Joining me for the very first time, you may know him from TikTok. You may know him from, if you're on social media, if you're on TikTok, you've probably seen his stuff. Always positive, always talking pro wrestling. It is Dan, aka the Wrestling Geezer. How are we? Thank you for jumping on this.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. It's the first time I've ever been on a podcast, so I feel very honoured. And I know there's a lot of other people you probably could have had on with a bigger following and stuff, but yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. So thank you.
I appreciate you wanting to be part of it. It's still
Definitely,
all
mate.
quite new,
Definitely.
so I appreciate anyone who wants to take part. And you know, again, the TikTok Wrestle Talk community it spreads pretty far and wide. The more work collaboration we can do as a community, the more it benefits everyone in the community and just keeps people talking about
Definitely.
wrestling and helps boost everyone.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Especially with the way the algorithms are at the moment on TikTok. It's getting tougher and tougher, isn't it? So yeah, totally here for it, mate.
Yeah, it's yeah, you've got to try and beat that algorithm. If not, it'll beat you.
Definitely, mate. But I'm not tapping out just yet, so we're all good.
Yeah. So so typically we'll go for a couple of subjects, and then I've got a little fun thing at the end. It's the return of Wrestling Room 101. Done it sometimes
Okay,
before,
yeah.
and yeah, it always helps to get your pet peeves out. But before we get into that, of course, this past weekend, past Saturday, Sunday, depending on when you watched it or where you are in the world, it was the Money in the Bank from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. And a very small card, but they filled it with the timings were there for sure. And a lot happened. So I think we'll just go into the first match, which was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which was won by
Yeah, I mean,
Naomi.
full disclosure, I'm not a massive on the women's scene. Nothing, it's just not my thing. But I did, knowing I was coming on the podcast, I did watch it in its entirety, and yeah, I mean, it was a banger, to be honest.
Yeah, of course, you had uh, Alexa Bliss, Stephanie Vaquer, who had worked 3 matches in about 24 hours, which is insane.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
uh, so Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, of course, Naomi, and I should have remembered
Julia
Julia, thank you, and Roxanne Perez.
and Roxanne
Yeah,
Perez.
I should have
Yeah.
written those names down, but no. But it was one surprisingly, especially for me, it was a surprise, won by Naomi. Uh,
Yeah, agreed.
it, it again, like I said, it was a banger, but yeah, I don't know where you stand on it, but uh, for me, when it came to this match and everyone is in it, I thought, okay, this is a really, really strong match.
Yeah, I agree. I think the card, sorry, not the card, but the actual competitors in it made a lot more sense to me than the men's Money in the Bank, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. Um, Again, I'm surprised at the overall winner. Personally, I thought Roxanne was going to win, and I actually think she was a standout in the match. I don't know if you agree with that.
yeah, I can definitely get behind that. The Roxanne, this like with in pretty much every match she's had that I've seen, she's been a standout and just puts on bangers in general. Being on
I
the
mean, she doesn't know how to put a ladder down, but
yeah, there is
we won't
that.
mention
Yeah,
that.
the ladder looked like the ladder wants to go into business for himself then, but you
Yeah,
know
definitely.
it was some really good spots in this match. The particularly the pop rocks and the code red
Yeah,
from either side.
yeah,
It
100%,
was
100%, man.
yeah. I haven't got what it takes to be a wrestler. If that's what we've got to do,
Yeah,
I'm like that.
I think me and you are both suited to commentary, mate. I think we're probably more safe on the sidelines, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, just give opinions rather than taking those bumps. Because now I'm good, you know. I'm all
Yeah,
good.
I'm all right sitting here critiquing them taking the bumps, but I'm not too keen on taking them myself, mate. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that one.
Yeah, it's oh, it was an interesting bump for sure. Um, of course, the what many consider to be the spot of the night was the Stephanie McKeer's Devil's Kiss on the ladder to Rhea Ripley. It certainly got the biggest reaction
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Where do you land on that? Is that, what's your thoughts?
I mean, that's the thing. I've seen it a lot before. Madison Rain used to do it in TNA all the time.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
not a new thing. I think what makes it, well, I don't personally like that. This is what makes it the Booker T reaction. I think that's what people got caught onto the most. I
Yeah.
mm, I'm not a fan of Booker
Yeah,
T.
I'm the same. I am the same, I must say. I don't get it. It's they're building the women's division to be, no longer tits and ass like it used to be. And that move, for me personally, is as popular it is because of what it is, based on what they're wearing. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I'm a bit older and maybe I'm a bit of a stick in the mud. But yeah, for me, I don't really get it. Like you said, you got double pop rocks going on. You got Rhea Ripley hitting the Riptide at the same time as Alexa doing um, Sister Abigail, sorry. And then you've got that. They don't really, for me, it doesn't sit well, in the same brackets, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a lot down to Booker T because you get the
Yeah,
every time she hits it, which oh
which Wade did do. In all fairness, he did. Yeah, he did sit in for Booker, didn't he, and do it.
yeah,
So you're probably right, man.
yeah, but hey, is what it is at this
Is
point.
what it is, man. Is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
um, but as I said, the eventual winner was Naomi, and
Yep,
yeah, Naomi was kind of Naomi didn't enter my thought process as to a potential winner of this match. I was
agreed.
leaning
Yeah,
towards
totally.
Roxanne or Rhea. 'Cause, I mean, I think it was Wade Barrett said on the kickoff show, "Money in the Bank" is going to sell a lot of T-shirts. I thought that's the way
Yeah,
they might lean with it, but they
yep, 100%,
they
man.
took the shot with Naomi, and when it was coming that ladder, I was very much, are they actually going to do this? And when she unhooked it, I popped. It was
Yeah, I was surprised, man. I must admit. Yeah, same. I thought someone was going to push her off, knock her down, whatever. But yeah, I was the same.
yeah.
100%.
It I'm glad for Naomi because after she left, went to TNA, was Knockouts World Champion for her entire run there. Had bangers with Jordan Grace and anyone else who came through. Del Perazzo team, just a couple. When she came back, it was kind of okay. Let's push her in the rumble a little bit, but then we'll
Yeah.
give her a tag run, and that's kind of it.
But do you not think this now is for the long-term storytelling? This is clearly going to be to get the belt on Jade Cargill at some point. Do you think?
Yeah, yeah. We've got the Queen of the Ring qualifiers tonight on Raw
Yeah.
as we record. Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems as though they're gonna uh, put push Jade Cargill a little bit more to have Naomi take that title from her, or maybe Naomi wins it and Jade takes it that way. That's SummerSlam. I don't know, but I think SummerSlam
Yeah.
is Naomi with Jade Cargill either way,
Yep,
and
100%, man. I think Bianca's going to be involved in there somewhere as well. It makes, again, storytelling sense to have her involved in there. But yeah, I think that, it's going to go into the feud that's already there, isn't it? I
yeah,
think, from Naomi.
yeah, definitely,
But I don't know if you noticed this, but they put such a big emphasis on the fact that the women who wins Money in the Bank goes on to be the champion. Could it be a swerve? This time they're not doing that. She cashes in. Does Cargill stop her from cashing in? Does Bianca stop her from cashing in? You know,
I mean, yeah, like I said, they've all the way through the build up to Money in the Bank, they were pushing that it's 100% success rate for the cash in on the women's side.
Exactly.
And typically when they're pushing stats, it means it's likely going to change.
Yeah.
When they're pushing that hard, it's...
And also the fact it's 100% success rate, where I think the men's was, 72, 76, something like that.
Yeah,
so the law of averages says they're going to change it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we'll see, man. We'll see. I think it'll make for interesting viewing, but also I'm going to watch it a bit more now.
Yeah.
It definitely opened my eyes to. Don't get me wrong, I knew that they was good, but I think where I'm not going to disclose my age, but I'm a bit older than you. Women's wrestling when I was sort of growing up and watching it wasn't what it is today. So I've sort of got that stigma left hanging over from that. So I just kind of fast forward it. I will check who wins the matches, but I don't really pay any sort of notice to it. Even it's the same on every banner as well. AEW, TNA. I just don't. It's just not my thing, man. But yeah, as I said, they definitely gained a new follower, should we say, on Saturday.
It was a bang, and not to get too far into it, but yeah, this definitely had more suitable names. The people in this match were more suited than the men's side in terms of who qualified.
Yeah. Hopefully we get into that a bit later because I've got some thoughts on that.
But next up, we have a match that wasn't scheduled until about an hour before the show started. About 2 hours before the show started. For the men's intercontinental championship. Get the words out.
Easy for you to say.
Dominic Mysterio challenging Octagon Jr. After a interaction, so we say, at Worlds Collide earlier in the night. Dom Mysterio challenging Octagon Jr. And of course, Octagon wasn't going to turn that down. A fairly short match. I didn't expect it to be much more because there's no actual story behind it. But Dominic Mysterio retains the Intercontinental Championship with a lot of help from Liv Morgan. So first of all, did you catch Worlds Collide?
I actually watched it yesterday. I've not seen the main event yet, but I've seen highlights online. But I thought it was a pretty good show, man. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Big fan of AAA for mainly because of the relationship they have with TNA. I'm familiar with a lot of people, and I know Octagon Jr. especially recently with they mentioned it on Worlds Collide, or Corey Graves did, that people may know. Or was it Michael Cole? It might be Cole.
No, it was Corey Graves. Yeah, I think it was Corey Graves. I think his knowledge was pretty good throughout. I was just about to say when you mentioned him there, I think he done a very, very good job at Worlds Collide.
Yeah, he smashed it. I mean, obviously, it I imagine it helps that he's familiar with the product, given that his brother wrestles for AAA. But
yeah,
I imagine that played a big part in it, because knowing the product very well. Which, in the past, WWE don't really pay that much attention to anything outside of their own bubble. So the fact that they Corey Graves was very much, he did his research, which I'm always a fan of when commentators do their research and not just fed lines.
And also the fact Conan, I don't know about you, but I just got the impression he didn't want to be there. It was. I mean, I know he's had health problems and stuff, but that isn't, K-Dog, if you like, that I remember from WCW. That is, you couldn't be further from it,
Yeah, it's it wasn't very much of color commentary.
No, he was sort of answering the questions, and then that was it, wasn't it? It was, it was a bit weird. It was especially the table spot when the crowd were cheering for tables, and he just shut it down, didn't he? Why do you want tables? Because that's what they ask for in every match, man. It's part of wrestling, isn't it? Now?
Yeah. It was. I like Conan a lot, but it didn't seem that thrilled to be there. I mean, if we're going off rumors, then to potentially wasn't supposed to be Conan on commentary.
Okay.
Apparently, WWE had approached Mike Tenay to join Corey Graves on commentary.
Oh wow.
Don't know what happened or if it was even true, but it would have explained a little bit more as to why Conan. Yeah, I don't think commentary's a strong suit. Let's put it that
No,
way.
no. I mean, if they can get Tanay for future events, then wow. Do you know what I mean? Tanay is again another person from my childhood, and he's second to none when it comes to his knowledge on anything lucha.
Yeah, he's the professor for a reason.
That's it, man.
But yeah, so this match came from a 6-man tag. With after the match, Dom Mysterio cutting a promo saying, why do you idolize Rey Mysterio when he's a deadbeat? Blah, blah, blah. They have a fight, and we get the match for Money in the Bank. Decent enough match. I thought they did a good job of showcasing Octagon Jr. Even though no one, I don't know where you stand up, but I don't think anyone really thought Octagon Jr. was going to win this match.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so, mate.
So it was just a nice feature for Octagon Jr. Dom Mysterio being Dom Mysterio, getting like mixed reactions, booed for a lot of pop, but then people singing his name, which I still find weird.
See, I think the thing with Dom is, I mean, off air I mentioned to you, obviously I said about Jeff Jarrett, and he reminds me very much of Jeff Jarrett, not in the wrestling sense, but you're meant to hate him, and you do hate him, but you have to sort of respect him as well, and that he's doing his job, and as much as everyone hates him, he's what he's there for, and in 10 years' time, we'll all look back. Similar to Eddie Guerrero when he first started.
Yeah.
He was undoubtedly brilliant in the ring, but you had to hate him because of how much of a heel he was. I think he's got the gimmick down, personally.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. He's that good at his job. He's getting the reaction he wants, and that's that's literally what he's meant to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's supposed to divide opinion. Like you said, you got half the crowd cheering for him, half the crowd booing him. So it's this win-win for WWE, isn't it?
Yeah. And if he's selling t-shirts, they're gonna keep doing what they're doing.
100%, mate. 100%.
I mean, a couple of days before Money in the Bank, I'd honestly forgotten who the IC champion was. I had to do a quick Google of who's IC champion. I'd forgotten that Dom was IC champion. Maybe because I haven't watched the product in a couple of weeks, but it slipped my mind that Dom was IC champion. And
yeah,
it's.
So do you feel he's now been put back into the spotlight a bit more for people that have been away for a few weeks, a few months, or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably going to lead to something with Finn Balor, but again, when that will happen, I don't know.
It's got to happen soon, man. It's got to happen soon. Finn's wasted. I mean, you watch wrestling from all over. We need Demon Finn back, and he needs to be fighting Penta, and it needs to be for that strap, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's a dream match, isn't it? And I mean, I posted it on TikTok a while back, and you get a few wallies on there, don't you? Going, oh, hardly a dream match. It is a dream match, man. You get the proper Demon Finn Balor, you get Penta. It's absolutely going to cook, isn't it?
Yeah. The Demon we got in NXT and then in Japan before that as well, a little bit.
Exactly.
That's who we need.
We don't need the one that was convulsing on the floor against, was it Bray Wyatt?
Yeah.
We don't need that one back.
I mean, I can even go as far as like the Demon that faced Edge at Mania a couple of years ago. It's not exactly, but it's as close as it's been for a long time.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, I know we're going into the weeds a bit, but with all the stuff that's going on with the White Six at the moment, that's dying on its arse. So we could do with something a bit different to everything else on the roster, and him coming back as, I mean, even if he switched it up and was Prince Devitt instead of being Finn Balor, and had the Demon as the main event pay-per-view guy, I think it'd still work personally.
Yeah, it needs something because Finn was like so good. And when he was, obviously injuries hasn't helped his career, but when he came up to main roster, won the Universal title, like it just kind of never picked up from there. That's disappointing.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, I mean, he literally got injured the night he won his
Yeah,
belt, didn't he? How's your luck?
yeah. The first IC champion, and he relinquished it the next night. So,
Yeah.
um, but anyway, yeah, Dom Mysterio defeats Octagon Jr. to retain the IC championship.
Yeah.
Then next up, it was the women's IC championship. Becky Lynch defeats Lyra Valkyria to become only the second ever women's intercontinental champion. Got on the wall, I can't say the name of the thing. But again, I don't know how you want on this, but when Becky pinned Lyra, I was like, what was the point? I don't know why Becky had to win this match. I understand to an extent, Becky's the bad guy, but I just felt like it halted what Lyra was building because it took a while for her to warm up on the main roster. She won the IC title. No one really cared all that much. Becky coming back massively helped that, but to lose to Becky, yeah, Becky, it wasn't a clean pin, but I wasn't a fan of Lyra losing to Becky. Again, I don't know how you felt on that one.
I'll be honest with you, mate, because I don't watch a huge amount of the women's stuff. My brain straight away went to it's old school booking. The money's in the chase, so the babyface has lost the title to the heel, and that's where the money's at. And I think that's what they're going with because let's be honest, where would she have gone if she had beat Becky from there, really?
Yeah.
So I think it's just like you said earlier. I think it's more of a money thing, getting the longevity out of it.
That would make some sense. And at the end it was a nice touch with Becky wanting Lara to raise her hand. She did that. She did all four corners, put the belt around her waist, and then dropped her with a suplex. I thought it was a very nice
Yeah.
touch. The heel being very heelish, overdoing it a bit, and the babyface being like, "Nah, over you go." I thought that was a very nice touch.
Again, I thought that was like a nod to the past. It was something you would have seen from Ric Flair back in the day, or Harley Race, someone like that. Even Triple H, So I think it was. I think they're going. She's sort of the old school head in this one, and she's going to do everything she can to hang on to that belt for as long as she possibly can. I think.
Yeah. If that's where it goes, then cool. I just hope that Lara gets something out of this other than just losing to Becky, because
I would imagine down the road she'll probably shake her hand genuinely, hand the torch to her, that kind of thing. But how far down the road, only time will tell, I suppose, mate, won't it?
yeah. So like in most things with wrestling, just got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully they don't bury her though, like you said, because it's took a long time for her to get to this point, hasn't it?
Yeah. So just need to see what happens with that. Then so next up, it was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yep.
Was there a lot going on in this one? So again, so the winner was Seth Rollins. I'd say the surprise of quite a few people, myself included. Yeah. We had again some very good spots. Andrade took a beating. It felt like Grande Americano was in the match.
I wonder who he is. Have you done any research, any investigative journalism into this to try and figure out who Grande is?
I see. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's either Chad Gable or Ludwig Kaiser. Can't make up my mind.
I mean, I heard Amos was looking for a new gig.
You never know. It's
Yeah,
It's truly,
sports entertainment, man.
yeah, it truly is a mystery.
But no, all jokes aside, what are your thoughts on sort of the Grande Americano slash Chad Gable angle?
Like I get it. Like it's funny, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not overly invested in this because I think with the way my brain works, I
Yeah,
even though it sounds really silly, I don't like being lied to. Even
yeah,
though it's wrestling and it's all
yeah,
lies to an extent,
yeah,
it's it's saying I know who that is, but everyone's telling me that I'm wrong, even though I know I'm not wrong.
yeah, yeah.
Like it,
I know what you mean. I get where you're coming
yeah.
from. Yeah.
And I'm trying to move past that, and just take it for what it is. Suspend disbelief, take
Yeah.
it for what it is.
Well, I had a theory before Worlds Collide. I thought he was going to get unmasked. Sorry, ignore me. Not unmasked. That's nonsense. I thought he was going to get injured against Vikingo, Chad Gable, and then obviously he'd have no choice but to unmask at Money in the Bank because he couldn't compete, etc. And then Roman was going to take his spot.
Okay.
But obviously, my booking is a lot more advanced than some people at the WWE, mate.
Yeah. 'Cause, see, another thing is I thought we were moving past the from the Gulf of America thing because that has some very political implications,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like I obviously we all know where WWE's politics lie, and we all know
yeah,
who they like and who they don't like.
yeah,
I just I thought we were moving past
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised it's not been shut down, but it's probably only a matter of time, isn't it? I'd imagine, mate. But it'd be interesting to see where they go with this because it's, I don't know, it's getting over. That's the problem. I think the idea is it needed to go badly so that they could knock it on the head, but the fans are into it. I mean, even my missus was saying to me the other day, she was like, "That's when Chad Gable was on. That's Americano, right?" And that's from someone who watches wrestling over my shoulder. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. That's for sure.
no, I don't even. It's the same with me and my nephew. Like he's convinced it's not Chad Gable, but like it is Chad Gable. But we have
Yeah,
like little backs and forths and stuff. I mean, he's only 8, so you know,
I mean, it'd be pretty cool if they did just randomly make it someone else. I mean, it is Chad Gable. I'm not saying it's not Chad Gable, but it would be pretty cool if they turned around and said it was, somebody totally different after all this.
that would be like insane if it did that because like it. I mean, was it Wade Barrett who said he knows what Chad Gable's nipples look like?
Yeah,
Like, okay, fair enough, you do you.
that was a pretty funny spot, I've got to say. That was but also talking of good spots and funny spots, I think Grande definitely had one of the best spots in the men's Money in the Bank match, but
Yeah,
it was ruined by the monkey flip. There was not enough room between the barricade, the ladder, Chad Gable, and LA Knight, and he sort of just like a squirrel, just sort of jumped forward, didn't he?
yeah,
It
yeah,
killed it a little bit, didn't it?
yeah. It's yeah, again, great to watch, but yeah, it's just it's a lot of case in wrestling. You've got to suspend disbelief and just see what.
And he also hit Andrade and the nuts with a ladder a little bit earlier in the night as well, didn't he? Did you clock that?
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that was yeah, he had a mixed night, shall we say?
yeah. It's definitely we can say mixed.
Yeah,
But of course, there's rounds match. Um, again, um, Seth Rollins, of course, can't do anything alone anymore, and calls for backup in the form of Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Uh, Algonde getting floored by Bron Breakker with Super Spear. Uh, Again, a lot happening. Of course, Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo, former Jeff Cobb, they make their presence known. A little exchange between the four big men. all out before Braun Breaker spears JC Mateo through the ringside barricade, timekeeper's area, pretty much only leaving Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa in the middle of the ring, looking like Jacob Fatu was going to help Sikoa win the Money in the Bank briefcase, sent a ladder for him and everything. Ends up grabbing his leg, and we finally hear the words, "I hate you, Solo." Finally hear those words from Jacob Fatu. Pulls him down, super kick, big old splash, and then a spinning solo off the apron and through the ladder bridge across from the barricade to the ring. About time, right?
It's just a monster, isn't it, man? Yeah, I mean, one just backstepping a tiny bit. What about the pop-up Samoan drop on Bronson Reed, man?
Oh, of course. Oh,
That was unbelievable.
oh.
I mean, and fair play to Bronson as well, because he had to get up there and do that as well. But that was some hell of a spot, man. And I think Jacobs, he's inevitable. He's going to be a world champion,
Yeah.
and sooner rather than later. I think you'd agree.
100%. 100%.
And how do you feel about Bronson, obviously being the TNA man you are?
I mean, the stint he had was great, but I always knew he was going to come back to WWE. I knew it was going to happen. Obviously, his feud with PCO and Josh Alexander was excellent, but it was always going to come back to WWE. I mean, only recently he's had stuff to do. Obviously, he came back to join forces with the Miz, had that silly thing for a little bit, but the feud with Braun Strowman, and then now with the part of Seth's group, I'm very much looking forward to this. See exactly where this goes, and if they're both like for him a tag team, I'm buzzing.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be, they're going to go belt collecting, aren't they? I think it's inevitable. They're going after the tag titles. And who's the champions at the minute? Is it the New Day?
Yeah.
Okay, it's always them or the Viking Raiders, isn't it? But they'll squash them. I think that's what's needed. And then Seth will end up with one of the belts, won't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think. Who do you think he's going to go after?
Well, logically, it should be John Cena, since he's threatened to ruin wrestling.
Yeah.
But Seth was the first World Heavyweight Champion. So did he try and get that title back? Because obviously, when it was the last Money in the Bank, Drew McIntyre cashed in the middle of Seth's match with Damian Priest, which meaning if Seth lost that match, he couldn't challenge for the World Heavyweight title as long as Priest was champion. So there's that bit added to it.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be the World Heavyweight Championship. Which
do you think he gets it tonight on Raw? Or do you think it's too soon?
I think he might get it tonight.
Yeah. I think so.
I really do. Let's just get into the main event, since I'm touching on the Cody and Cena stuff.
Yeah.
So main event tag team match. Cody Rhodes and main event World Heavyweight Champion main event Jey Uso defeats the team of John Cena and Logan Paul. Before we get into the big thing that happened in this match in terms of returns, I just want to get your thoughts on the match itself and see where it stands, really, because for me, I was a bit going into this match. I was on the side of what's in this match. What's this match really for? Because all that can happen really is if Jey Uso pins John Cena, cool. That's not going to happen. Only what I think might happen was Logan Paul might pin Jey Uso to get back in the World Heavyweight title picture. Because Cody and Cena is always set up. It doesn't matter who pins who in that match. It's going to happen again. So I was very much on the why is this match happening? Where did you stand on the match as a whole and the build up to it?
I'll be honest with you, mate, and this is going to probably piss a few people off. I can't think of a tag team I hate more than Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso.
Yeah,
I genuinely can't. I would rather watch paint dry. Honestly, Jey can't wrestle. Cody, for me personally, I've been a fan in the past. Loved other stuff he's done. He's just a theme tune, man. That's it. If he had that, didn't have that entrance music, it wouldn't be what it is. I know he has got that entrance music, so we can't say that. But for me, it was a bit like, well, yeah, I just hope they get obliterated. But the problem you've then got is John Cena can't wrestle, and then it's all down to Logan Paul. He's just, yeah. I'm much the same as you. It just didn't make any sense.
yeah. It was just a okay match.
Yeah.
So just in
It,
little,
it wasn't. I don't know if you agree with this. It wasn't a PLE match. It was a main event of a Monday Night Raw match.
yeah, stick that on Raw.
You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I know, both champions should have been on the card because you just had the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Could a cash in happen then? When Cole said it, I didn't think it was going to happen then. There's always the moment of when everyone's laid out, or what could the Money in the Bank holder come and cash in now?
Yeah.
But Seth Rollins ain't going to do that. He's not going to do that straight away after
No.
winning it.
No. I think the problem you've got as well is, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't like Jey Uso. I don't think he's a good wrestler. He's very much a tag team wrestler, but he keeps the lights on at the minute with his merch sales and that God for awful catchphrase. And I think that's the only thing keeping him in the championship at the moment. But the only thing bigger than him at the minute is Seth Rollins. So I think going back to your earlier point, I think Seth's got to go after him. And finally, we might be rid of, having to listen to his terrible promos every week.
See, I am a fan of Jey Uso, but I completely understand where you and everyone else is coming from in terms of his ability. I mean, it's not a good look when your world heavyweight champion's getting blown up just by walking for the crowd.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's not a good look, and I am a huge fan of Jey Uso. I really
Yeah,
got behind this whole thing with Jey. Even the bloodline as a right hand man, all that stuff. I was fully behind Jey. The Usos are up there as in one of the best tag teams in
yeah,
WWE
agree.
history.
I totally agree with that, man. Totally agree with that.
But he's gone
I don't know.
over, and
Yeah,
you almost because you almost have to push him. I mean, when Jey won the Royal Rumble and everyone's going off, my argument for it was uh, someone's got over organically and they're pushing them. In the
yeah,
past, when that didn't happen, people were losing their mind. I go to Rusev Day, for example.
yeah,
It all happened organically, got himself over, and it got nothing.
yeah, agree.
So now someone who's done the same thing has won the Royal Rumble, which again the Royal Rumble is a match where anyone is supposed to can win.
Yeah.
That's the match, you haven't got to pin anyone, you just got to throw people over the ropes. So it made sense when Jey won the Rumble, but
But do you not think even he looked surprised he won the Royal Rumble? I
yeah,
know we're going back a long way now, but
no, no, yeah,
even he couldn't believe that he'd eliminated John Cena. It was like, what the,
yeah, no,
but
I do understand the argument behind Jey Uso. Like,
yeah.
it's
I think if he just toned it down a bit, I wouldn't hate it as much. But he's like watching the Ultimate Warrior from back in the early '90s, and he's like nothing he says makes any sense. He shouts everything. It's like he licks the back of a battery before he gets hold of a microphone. He's like all over the place. Again, I know people are not going to agree with this, and he's massively over, more over than I'll ever be. But I will die on that hill that he shouldn't be where he is, man.
I do get it. I mean, recently in a promo with Gunther, he said, "I'm going to walk into Monday Night Raw the way I walked out of WrestleMania." Like, surely you're gonna walk out Monday Night Raw the way you walked out of WrestleMania, not walk in and walk in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like,
He gets too excited. He's like
yeah,
he's just happy to be there. He's like a Labrador that's been let out of the garden. He needs to sort of work on that element. But I don't think he's going to get a chance. Like you say, I think Steph's cashing in on him, and that'll be the end of it.
yeah.
Hopefully.
So, in the same vein, because I saw this question yesterday on TikTok. asking, when are people gonna start appreciating Logan Paul as a wrestler?
Already do, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair.
already do.
I
I mean, what's your thoughts? Let me hear what you think first, and
yeah.
then I'll give you my take, man.
So with Logan Paul, obviously, you know, if I'm looking at it from the TV, just on WWE TV, Logan Paul's a prick, and he's very good at doing that.
Yeah,
Like
agreed.
he, he's very good at playing that part. But it's when it spins off TV and all, again, I'm very much of the opinion of, everyone has a past. You learn from that
Yep,
past. You
yep,
make mistakes, and to an extent, Logan Paul has. But then he comes out with some stupid and does something stupid,
yeah,
and it's all for clicks.
yeah.
That's why he does it, and it just. So here's my thing with it. It's I don't know how familiar you are with the Tessa Blanchard situation. If you
I know roughly she was fired for some inappropriate comments and stuff, and now she's back. And is that
Yeah,
about right?
yeah. So I think it's 2020. Some comments surfaced of her using racial language,
Yeah,
and you know from I think it's about 5 years before 2020.
yeah,
So roughly 2015 ish.
yeah. So we're talking over 10 years ago.
Yeah. So and also reports of bullying as well. So
Yeah,
a lot of wrestlers went online and exposed her for being a bully, all things she said in the past, and TNA kept her as the world heavyweight champion. And then she decided to, after during the pandemic, she she didn't send in some promos, so TNA stripped her the title essentially. She's bad attitude, and TNA stripped her the title.
yeah.
She's back now, and and all she's getting is everywhere she goes, people chant she's a racist,
I
and that
did hear that on one of the TNA pay-per-views
yeah,
recently. Actually, now you say that,
and
yeah,
that they're coming for her and they're coming for her. But my thing with it is this is coming from people who watch WWE and AEW. They, you can't have the moral high ground when you watch WWE on a regular basis
yeah.
because they
Agreed.
still hire Hulk Hogan. You know,
Don't get me started on Hulk Hogan, mate.
there we go. AEW still work with Excalibur, and he said similar things. I get it,
Yeah.
the bullying thing. All of it is so horrible. It's
Well,
abhorrent.
CM Punk's the same thing. If you believe what you read about him, WWE employ him, don't they? You know.
This is it. There's plenty of. I mean, WWE go to Saudi Arabia at least 3 times a year,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. And
Yeah.
it's just, I think I think it's hypocrisy that gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
Like,
So you're not against Logan Paul in terms of his wrestling. It's more what he does outside of the ring and what he's done pre. I'm assuming you're talking about the Japanese forest
yeah,
incident.
that
Yeah. So I
I
totally
think,
get that, man. There's someone who's big on men's mental health and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, fucking bang out of order.
yeah.
100% agree with you.
So it just spins off that really. Like, he is annoyingly good. That's what I say. He's annoyingly good at wrestling because I don't want to have to like him, but he can wrestle.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a natural talent when it comes to wrestling that
Yeah.
can't be ignored.
Agreed.
He's a very, very good athlete.
Yeah.
But I like with most people in the public eye, like, I don't want to know what politics you're involved in, what you believe in, like, especially if you're a wrestler on TV, like, you're playing a character. I don't
Yeah.
need to know. I guess it's an old school mentality of I don't need to know who you are as a person. Like, I'm watching you as a
Yeah.
character on TV.
Yeah, agreed.
Like,
Unless it is your character like JBL or someone like that.
this is
That's a
it.
bit, or Jack Swagger, those type of characters, because they're playing a character on screen, which brings everyday life into their character, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is it. And I guess Logan Paul is playing the YouTuber guy. I think that's.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
is coming away from that, and he's just been a bit of a prick.
Yeah. And listen, man, this is why I love professional wrestling, because everyone's got a different opinion. I've probably read thousands of comments about Logan Paul, but no one's ever put that point of view across.
Yeah,
You know, which is refreshing. You know.
yeah. I think he's just just plays a prick, and he plays it very well. And the reactions he gets are because he's doing a good job. Same
Yeah.
with Dom Mysterio, they're doing a good job,
Yeah.
and
100%, man.
that's why I say he's annoyingly good. I don't like him as a person, but I don't like him as a wrestling character. But you're not supposed to like him as a wrestling character.
Exactly. So he's
So
doing his job, isn't he? Like you said.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
all you can ask for, really.
I mean,
Uh,
from my point of view, I mean, I'm a bit older than you, obviously, but historically, when celebrities come into wrestling, it is a coffin on roller skates. It doesn't work. They can't wrestle. They're there for the wrong reasons. And I think the reason he works the way he does is he don't need the fucking money. He's got more money than God.
yeah,
So he's actually there because he loves wrestling. He loves doing what he's doing. I mean, look at the bump he took at the weekend, man. That RC moonsault. That's incredible.
yeah,
You know, if someone like Penta or Ray Phoenix done that, mate, you know, the entire world would be up in arms how amazing it was. But because it was Logan Paul, there's still that element of he gets a bit of shade on him. Oh, he didn't eat clean, or he reacted, his facials afterwards weren't great, whatever. But that's tribalism. That you're hating on someone for the wrong reasons, you know. And I think because he doesn't need the money, he will keep getting better and better. Because he ain't going skint anytime soon, is he? Let's be honest.
no,
So I think personally, he is going to be better and better. And I've said it previously, he will be world champion within 5 years,
yeah, no.
in my opinion.
I do
And
have to.
imagine how many toys, lunchboxes, T-shirts, whatever that will sell. Because
Yeah,
he's going to turn face at some point as well. Let's be honest. This Cena thing with him, maybe at the end of Cena's run, he'll turn face. But when he does turn to a good guy, that's it. I think the sky's the limit then.
yeah. I mean, he was objectively the MVP of this entire match.
Mate, he was in there for other people that can't wrestle.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. Again, it's going to get hate, but I'm sticking with it. He was the only person in that match who could wrestle.
it's not far off. I can't really,
You know,
I can't really argue. I can't really argue
you
at
know,
all, to be honest.
But
Yeah,
again, I don't want to be a hater. This is a positive platform,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, you know.
No, it's everyone's has their opinion, aren't they? Like,
Yeah,
this is what we're here to discuss what we think. Um, so see, we have the match. Referee is distracted when John Cena hits Cody Rhodes with the title again, but a masked man starts into the ring and just starts laying Cena out. Takes his hood
yeah.
off, and it's R-Truth.
No, he was Ron Killings. Get it right,
Wrong
man.
killings. Wrong
Ron
killings.
Killings.
Yes, wrong killings.
Thoughts?
Uh, I still don't know whether I got. I
Nah.
want to know,
He
but
got
not.
sacked, mate. He got sacked.
Yeah, that's my opinion of it too. Of course, Triple H is going to try and play it off as, oh, this is the plan all along. They know what they're doing to an extent,
Of course they do.
but this was like truth was gone,
Yeah.
and
Well, he tweeted saying he was gone, didn't he? You see the message he put out. It wasn't a Ric Flair retirement text. It was a genuine, I'm open for fucking bookings. Like, look at Carlito. He was wrestling on some indie promotion Saturday night. He
yeah,
got released the same day,
yeah,
you know. But
you
I'm
know,
glad he's back. I like Truth. I don't know about you. You must love him because he was part of the Conan Road Dogg trio in TNA, wasn't he?
Three Live Crew.
That's it.
Oh, what a reference! The Three Live
That
Crew.
was when TNA was good, and that was
Oh,
definitely when Conan was at some of his best.
insane. Um, so yeah, Truth back. Because the reaction when he was released was insane. There was even
Yeah.
We Want Truth chants at TNA.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Crazy.
like this is how like WWE dropped the ball by not being able to agree terms with R-Truth,
Yeah.
because like this. I mean, R-Truth slid into that ring the other night and got the biggest pop of his career.
Yeah.
Like, and it's Truth saying it's no work and that it's because we want Truth stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
we have Triple H saying, "Did you enjoy the show?" It's all part of the show.
Yeah.
So you can spin it how you want, but they were ignoring those chants. Apart from John Cena referenced it a little bit. That you can't
Yeah.
handle the truth, which I thought was very good.
Yeah.
And one night after Raw went off the air, you had CM Punk saying, "How dare you chant for a guy who's not here? You'll get on the way home." Like
Yeah.
that was all nicely put together, but
I think if you look at social media, not from me, you, from normal people, look at the wrestling industry, the outcry for him being released. And I bet there was, I mean, imagine if he turned up on AEW. It would have been insane. It
yeah,
would have been so good. But I'm glad he's staying where he is because he didn't deserve to get cut. I mean, I posted about this. I can't remember what I was posting about on TikTok, and I was saying about WWE dropping the ball, etc. Oh, about the White Six, sorry. And I
mm,
said they're releasing people they shouldn't, they're pushing people they shouldn't, and that's a prime example, man. Like he's never been more over, and they released him. It just doesn't make any sense,
yeah,
you know. But
mm,
I'm glad he's back, and also fair play to Triple H because he's done something Vince McMahon would never have done, and he's admitted he was wrong. He
yeah,
hasn't admitted he was wrong because he's saying it was all part of the plan, but by him rehiring him, he's given nod to the fans, isn't he? So fair play to him.
yeah. The one thing WWE fans have been saying that WWE don't do is listen to the fans.
Yeah,
They listen to the fans, and it shouldn't happen in the first place. But like I said, the fact they brought him back and listened, it's a huge deal.
yeah.
And now, hopefully, he's on Raw tonight like because I know WWE ratings have been struggling a little bit, but getting our Ron Killings on Raw tonight
Yeah,
will do bits.
yeah,
And
I agree.
I will stay up and watch it. If there's any hint of truth being on Raw tonight, I will stay up and
I
watch it. I
think
need to see.
everyone's there tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, everyone.
Something's got to happen. There's so many people under one roof for something big not to go down tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be great to watch.
Yeah, agree, man.
Um,
Totally agree.
so that was Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
All in all, a very good show.
yeah.
Some hits and misses, but
I'd say
I'm of,
more hits than misses for a change.
yeah, and I'm of the opinion of there's no, I haven't seen a 10 out of 10 wrestling show in the last 15 years. That's
Yeah,
just my
okay.
opinion. I
No,
haven't
that's fair enough, mate. That's
really
fair enough.
seen it's been like 8 out of 10s. There's always been a few things missing for me, and this is a very good show. I also enjoyed Money in the Bank. I'm a big fan of a lot of matches, so I
Yeah,
I enjoyed this for what it was.
agreed,
But
man.
I want to move on now to something that I haven't been enjoying, and I haven't for the longest time. So it happened all the way back at WWE NXT Battleground. It was Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship,
Yeah,
and uh, obviously for ages there was always the conversation of who's going to lose the title to what company first. Turns out, once again, it's the TNA World title going to another company,
yeah,
and it's on Trick Williams' shoulder. Uh, Trick's had two title defenses so far. One against Mike Santana on the NXT a couple weeks ago, which was interference by AJ Francis and Casey Navarro first class, and this past Friday against All Odds against Elijah, again interference by AJ Francis. From the day this relationship was announced with TNA and NXT, this was my main concern. And it's not just anyone winning the TNA title, which was. I knew it was going to. I always knew that a TNA title was going to be the first to go the other way. I always knew that. I fully accepted that. It's fact it's Trick Williams. I if you see my other podcast, I do not rate Trick Williams in the slightest. He,
there's a reason he's where he is.
yeah, he's overrated, overhyped, and just. I mean, don't get me wrong. This new heelish version of Trick is better, but he's just copying Mello.
Yeah.
If we're being real, it's
And I
exactly
don't think
Mello
he's
did.
doing it as good as Mello either,
This is it.
in my opinion.
So yeah, Trick Williams is the TNA World Champion, and although I like the way TNA are going with it, the angle they're playing, this is an outsider. He has what belongs to us. Let's all work together and get it back. I like that,
Yeah.
but it's the fact it's Trick Williams.
Who would you have put it on?
If it had to be someone from NXT,
Yeah.
I would have gone Ethan Page.
Because of his history with
Because of the
TNA, yeah.
history. This is it. Just because of the
Fair enough.
history.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact he's been wrestling for longer than 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just I'm just not. I don't like it purely mainly because it's Trick. Like this could be anyone else. If it was even if it's Devon Evans, I'd understand it a bit more.
Yeah, he's up and coming. I get you. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Imagine Javon Evans against Leon Slater as well. Oh,
I'm
unbelievable.
on that just a little bit. I wanted one kind of, I guess you can call it a dream match because it's never happened and I want to see it. In triple threat, it's Javon Evans, Leon Slater, and Kevin Knight from New Japan.
Yes, I'm
I
so
think,
glad you said that, man.
yeah,
Kevin Knight, he slept on.
it like the world needs that match, but yeah,
It won't happen though, mate, because there's not enough open-minded people like myself and you to make it happen. You
yeah,
have to be tribal. You're not allowed to like other people from other organisations. Come on, you know this.
you've got to look at how good that match would be. Watch them individually. I mean, I don't want to go too much off topic with it, but I saw a match Kevin Knight was his moves a few months ago, and it was a banger. Like Kevin Knight can go with anyone,
Yeah,
and they all can. And just Javon at Worlds Collide was insanely good. He's suited to that style. He should spend
yeah,
more time in AAA, if you ask me.
yeah.
Super
Imagine
good for
you think back to the days when it was Edge and Christian, the Hardys in TLC. Can you imagine some sort of TLC kind of mash up with those three?
insane.
It would be absolutely mental. And I think I think the future of professional wrestling at the moment is brighter than it's ever been. There's
Yeah,
so many good. I mean, again, we're going in the weeds. Speedball now over at AEW. Speedball's
yeah,
incredible, and the fact he's with Kevin Knight as a tag team, that's cooking as well.
excellent. Yeah, it's so good. Um, yeah, on the and by the way, the Trick NA thing really bugs me.
Doesn't make any sense.
Like it's nah, I'm not
No,
about that.
no, it doesn't
Where
make any sense.
where do you stand on Trick as TNA World Champion? I know you did a little video on your channel.
I
Where do
mean,
you stand on
yeah.
it?
I mean, for me personally, first things first is history. He's the first person from outside another organisation, yada yada yada, all of that. That is a fact. First WWE, um, what's the word? Contracted
Yeah,
wrestler to hold a TNA title. That is undeniable. That's fantastic. But it could be done so much better. I mean, like you said, Ethan Page would make more sense. I also am not a big fan of him burying TNA's better wrestlers. I mean, Mike Santana, he's one of the best to do it, in my opinion. He's
yeah,
been around the block. He's fucking incredible for a big guy. But it's almost like a throwback to when WCW was involved originally with WWE, and they're kind of burying him. And there's no real way back from it, because if Trick just runs for everyone in TNA, then what does that? Then what for TNA? Once he does finally drop the belt, because all of these people will have just been beaten by a second string, WWE star, wouldn't they?
yeah.
But
That's the thing.
I think
That's
Nick
it.
Nemeth potentially will take the belt off of Trick, because again, full circle storytelling, the Dolph Ziggler thing, it kind of makes a bit of sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
actually, I saw the clip. Nick Nemeth seems to be legitimately pissed off about
yeah,
this, which is fair because I felt the same way, and I didn't even work for the company, but as a TNA faithful, like from 2012. and it's a
Yeah,
single episode of TNA, and this is where it goes. I don't like because the TNA World Title has gone to a different company. Three people from two different companies. Kenny
yeah,
Omega win it, and then Christian Cage
yeah,
win it. Christian
yeah.
Cage, I wasn't too upset about because again the
He's a
history.
TNA original. Yeah,
But it's now from Trick Williams, and you've got AJ Francis involved in this. Like, why is it
yeah,
him? Do you want to go back to do you want to go back to WWE that bad?
yeah.
I don't know why he needs to be
People
involved
got
in.
very short memories, I feel, as well. Like, I mean, I wasn't overly following at the time, but he was was it Hit Squad or Hit Row or something they was called in
Yeah,
WWE. They just discarded them, and now it's like you say, are you that desperate to go back? Like, it's for me, it's a bit of a throwback to when Taz fought Triple H. I don't know if you remember this back in the day, and he was the ECW champion. Triple H was a WWF champion at the time, and he just squashed him.
yeah.
And it reminds me of that kind of thing. It's like they're going to let Trick run through everyone, and for what? It just doesn't make any sense to me personally. If it was a main roster star, then it makes a bit more sense. But Trick Williams isn't even the best wrestler in NXT, in my opinion.
No.
So why is it him? And then also, if it was a main roster star, that's fine because then they do eventually drop the belt. That's fine. It's not a problem you've lost to a bigger star, but I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me for the same reasons it doesn't sit right with you. And I don't think Trick done himself any favours by listing the previous champions because he ain't on the level of any of the guys whose names he read out, in my opinion.
No, I mean, obviously you can go back through any lineage of any title, and
Yeah,
there's always some questionable people in that lineage. I
yeah.
mean, not so much with the TNA World Title. There's a few, of course, but I mean, I'd mainly go to the Knockouts World Title. Cody Deaner is technically a Knockouts World Champion.
Yeah,
Like, there's been some things with
yeah.
it, but yeah, you don't name the people who've held that title before you because are you trying to compare yourself to them?
Well, that's the thing, and he's not Kurt Angle. He's not. Who else did he? I can't remember who else he said. He said Kurt Angle. He said
AJ, Sting, those kind of people.
AJ Sting. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's missed a load of people off of that list as well. When you think about Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, uh, that just to name a couple of them, he's not anywhere near that level.
no,
You know, which I don't think has done him. I don't think he meant it how it come across. But if you know TNA and you know the people he referenced, it wasn't a good look in my opinion.
no. This is not my favorite thing to happen.
No,
Like,
no,
because it's ironic because at the start of this partnership, I was saying, oh, why aren't TNA getting more people from NXT coming over? Why is everyone going to NXT? And now
yeah,
we are getting more people coming through. We've had over family, we've had JC Jane, Cora Jade, uh,
yeah,
Fatal Influence in general. Sol Ruka's come through. So
yeah,
Braxton defended the tag titles twice. So
yeah,
you've had almost every. I know they weren't champions at the time, but you had um, Sol Ruka is now the Women's North American Champion.
yeah,
Lose to Jordan Grace. You had JC Jane is now the current NXT Women's Champion.
yeah,
Lose to Marsha Slamovich.
yeah.
Like there's more they can go off from this, but
It's going the wrong way, isn't it? It should
yeah,
be that he's leaving TNA to go on to the WWE, not come into TNA and like you said, run through people. Especially with AJ. I mean, AJ Francis, whatever, but Navarro for me, I don't get it. His pink hair, he's not overly entertaining, is he? He's. I don't know. I agree with you. I think the whole thing could have been thought out a lot better.
I mean, it is it already is way better than the relationship TNA had with AEW at the time. It's
Yeah.
already
Agreed.
far, far better than that. But
Yeah,
there's not an awful lot of competition in terms of how good it was because every week Tony Khan will come on TNA TV and say, "Don't watch this, come watch AEW instead."
yeah.
Like it's just and TNA were never allowed to say anything back.
No, and that
Or
that is the that is the thing. I mean, I do. I like TNA. I mean, I don't watch it as much as I should really. I tend to just watch the PLEs, but there is some good. There's some good stuff. I mean, there is also some awful stuff on there as well, but the majority of it is good. And it's going for me. I'm will forever be the six-sided ring. That was my era. That was fantastic. And if they can get somewhere near that again in the future, I think it makes a very good alternative to the WWE product.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I've only after WrestleMania, I didn't watch TNA for at least a month.
Yeah,
I felt like it was going too much with the partnership with WWE,
yeah,
and it felt like I want to watch TNA wrestlers, not WWE wrestlers coming to TNA. I
yeah,
want to watch a bit more of TNA, and because there was a time where the partnership wasn't going anywhere, and
yeah,
now I think it's too much. We just have Robert Stone coming over and
yeah,
almost becoming the director of authority in TNA. Like,
yeah.
it's not how.
No, it
It,
needs to be separate, but with some crossovers, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah,
it's his own product. It's not WWE TNA. It's TNA.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think if they help them to get back to their heyday, then brilliant. But I hope they don't just sort of get lost in the push and it becomes you know, another WWE show. I can see it becoming WWE Impact.
yeah. That is honestly my biggest fear
Yeah,
because I've always said if TNA goes away, I might be done with wrestling because TNA is the reason I'm a wrestling fan. If that goes
yeah,
away, I don't know
yeah,
how much time I can invest in caring about what I'm watching anymore. Like
yeah,
the WWE product is now so much easier to consume.
yeah.
You
Of
know,
course it is.
it's very watchable now because they've dialed it back a bit because it was too convoluted. They had so much going on, and now
Yeah,
they've dialed it back a bit, and it's very very easy to watch now.
yeah,
But I don't know if TNA goes away.
yeah.
It's
Agreed.
well, what's the point in watching wrestling if WWE now own everything?
A rising tide lifts all boats, doesn't it? So what's good wrestling is good wrestling, bad wrestling is bad wrestling. Doesn't matter what the banner is. It can only be good. The more companies you've got, the better it can be. Simple as that.
Yeah,
I agree with you totally. And I mean, I didn't watch a lot of WWE for a while. When AEW first started, I was banging to AEW, loved it because I was a bit of a lapsed fan at the time. I kind of lost a bit of interest in WWE, and I got right back into it when AEW launched. And I think without the AEW stuff, I probably wouldn't be as I wouldn't be the wrestling geezer. I'd still follow it on socials and I'd catch up, but I wouldn't be watching 3 or 4 wrestling events, a week. I wouldn't be posting daily. I wouldn't be doing half of the stuff I'm doing. So, and again, like you say, you're potentially not going to be doing that if TNA goes away.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. It's just, we we need to have options.
yeah,
If everything's just under the WWE banner, then
yeah,
nothing's changing. It's the
no,
same stuff.
yeah,
And
100%.
I don't go too much into it, but AEW has never really been my thing. I've tried a few times.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
I just can't. I don't know what it is because I like everyone involved in the company. I mean,
Yeah,
not too keen on the ownership, but I can move past that. I just
yeah.
don't know what it is for me to focus on watching AEW. I think it's because I've watched too much wrestling as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange because even way back when I was little, I was a WCW fan over WWF. So I think it's just something ingrained in me. I like the alternative, maybe the underdog story. I don't really know, but I understand. I've got friends that one of my best pals, Linton, big up Linton. He can't get into AW. He loves wrestling, but
Yeah,
he just cannot get into it. He texts me regularly. He's like, I tried to watch Dynamite again this week, just can't do it. So I get it. I totally get it. But I just think, like you're saying, the more organisations there are, the better wrestling will become. There's more avenues for these people to showcase what they can do, isn't there?
yeah. Like we just need wrestling. That's all we need is
Yeah,
wrestling.
that's it. That's it, man. That's exactly it.
So those are the main headlines, if you will, the big topics. I
Yep.
thought I'd bring back a feature from a few episodes ago, from episode 3, I believe. And
Yep.
it is the return of Wrestling Room 101, a completely original idea. Uh, where we know, so things we don't like about pro wrestling that just because you can call them X if you like, you can call them whatever you like. Things that you want just banished from wrestling. Not necessarily
Yep.
wrestling, just a thing that happens that kind of drives you a little bit crazy. That it keeps happening. You just can't really move past it. You want it gone forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and basically the only people we have to convince is each other.
Okay. Well,
So
I've thought about this when you mentioned it to me the other day. So I've got one that I don't think you'll be that bothered about. I've got one that you may challenge me on, and I've got one I would like to think you'll 1,000% agree with me on. And there
okay,
was two that I wanted to put in that didn't make the cut. I still want to mention Hulk
yeah,
Hogan is number one on every single list, no matter what.
heck,
But we'll do a whole other podcast about that.
yeah, yeah,
And the other thing for me is this whole saying yeet after everything, or what after everything the wrestler says. They're the two that didn't make the cut, but they were very, very close.
yeah. That's
So
yeah. So but now as the guest, go ahead and drop your
Right.
first suggestion for Room 101.
So the thing that I would get rid of instantly is Ed Leslie, aka Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I fucking hate him.
Okay.
Always fucking hated him. Just got no place in wrestling anymore. That's it. That is it. And that is the one I don't think you'll be that bothered about. But for me personally, I feel very, very passionately about this subject. So fuck Ed Leslie.
I again I haven't really paid that much attention to him, so
There you go.
I
And that was a reaction I was expecting to
yeah
get him straight in room 101.
okay yeah I'll let you have that one. I've barely seen anything of him apart from a
You're
few
lucky.
old manias. Uh,
Yeah.
Hogan and Beefcake versus the Steiners, I believe it was.
He's only famous because he's Hulk Hogan's weed carrier. So, there you go.
Yeah,
But again,
I think I'll let you have that one because if he's
thank
into
you, my
something
friend.
of mine where I wanna, because again, this might be a couple where you're not that fussed about, but I'll give you my first one,
Go on then.
and it's the referee arm check. So when a wrestler has put in a submission on their opponent and they've passed out,
Yep.
but the referee either shakes the arm
Yep.
or which I'm not too fussed about that one. It's the dropping of the arm test.
Yep.
Choose drop it once or drop it three times because
Yeah.
it's too inconsistent. So I say
Yeah.
get rid of it and just
Yeah.
if they're not responding to their name, they're out.
Yeah. No, I'll
Like
let you have that one. Yeah, I'll let you have
yeah,
that one.
it drives me crazy because it's too inconsistent.
It's got to be the old-fashioned free, innit? It's for me personally. It's got to be the free drops, and then it's
Yeah,
got to be the catch it at the last second and be like, no, I'm not quitting.
yeah,
That's what I like. But yeah, I'll let you have that one, mate. That can go live with Ed Leslie in room 101.
yeah. Off you pop.
Off you go.
So, over to you for your next one.
So this is the one I don't know whether you'll agree with me or not, but Booker T as an NXT commentator. Now, I love Booker T in Harlem Heat. I loved Booker T during his run in WWE as a wrestler. I fucking cannot watch NXT and listen to Booker T. I had this same conversation with someone else the other day, and I was like, the Santana and Trick Williams match I watched on mute because I cannot listen to Booker T. He just talks utter garbage. And these part of the reason why I hate that move that Stephanie Valkyr does as well. So when you mentioned that earlier, it played into this section. So that is the one I don't think you'll agree with. I think you'll have a different opinion on, but that is the second thing. Booker T as an NXT, as a commentator. Let's just say
Yeah,
as a commentator.
I, I'll tell you this. Like as soon as you mention Booker T, I was that's it. That is
Fair,
in.
fair enough.
I'm 100% with you. Like NXT becomes unwatchable with Booker T on commentary a lot of the times. It's
Agreed.
just noises.
Yeah,
just noises.
And he's
And
uneducated, man. That's the thing. He says things that are just not true as well. It's like, do you do research?
I said it on another podcast I do. Corey Graves coming into NXT exposed how shit Big Joe and Booker T are at their jobs.
100%. 100%.
So yeah, that is in there, and it's like at the very, very, very far back of this room 101. Like it's buried under everything, so it can never get out again.
Agreed.
Like yeah,
Put it on top of Ed Leslie though, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can make some space for that one.
There you go. So what's your number 2, man?
Okay, I think I may have overshot with this one, but we'll go with it. And it's contractual rematches. Again, it's too inconsistent. Either we have them or we don't have them. We can't pick and choose who has them and who doesn't have them. You know, because so Cody's basically got one, and but the War Raiders need to go through other matches to get no contendership.
Yeah.
Like I think just get rid of it altogether and just have everyone earn their shots.
Yeah,
like,
great. You lost the title, so therefore you ain't the second best person anymore. You've lost your chance. I agree with that totally. Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah.
2 for 2, man. 2 for 2. People ain't gonna watch this. They want to see us have a row with each other. They're not gonna tune in to see us agree on these things. You better have some sort of nuclear bomb for the third one, mate.
I mean, it depends where you stand on it, but yeah. But if you have another one,
I do, and I think this is the one you will agree with because I think this is what embodies you as a wrestling fan, as a person, and it's tribalism within wrestling. I think personally there's no place for it. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, but just there's no need for it, man. You don't need to like what I like. I don't need to like what you like. My opinion, because I don't like something, doesn't mean your opinion's wrong because you do like it. And again, you follow me on social media, you follow me on TikTok, so you know whenever someone pops up in the comments and says something I don't agree with or they're saying something's blatantly wrong, I just hit them with that's why I love professional wrestling. Everyone's got a different opinion because I'm not about that. Good wrestling is good wrestling, bad wrestling is bad wrestling. Simple as that.
Yeah, no, I completely agreed. Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah, it's nonsensical that I've always been of the opinion of we're wrestling fans. I mean, how many times in school or online has someone told you wrestling's crap? Why do you like wrestling? It's awful.
Exactly that.
It shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, we should stick together because we are nerds and people pick on us because we're grown men that like men that jump around in pants. But instead of backing each other up and sticking together, people like to pile on and just don't get it. Like if you feel that passionate about it, just don't say nothing.
Yeah, we understand what it is. It doesn't mean we don't like it.
Yeah,
like we know we have to suspend disbelief to enjoy it, but it's part of the reason we like it. And if you don't like another company, okay, cool, you do not have to watch it.
But it's entertainment.
This is it.
I might watch a film that you don't like. You might watch a film that I don't like. It doesn't mean that film's shit. Do you know what I mean? Look at the film Titanic, yeah? Probably one of the biggest selling films in the history of films, yeah? If you ask 100 people on the street, did it have a shit ending? 100 people in the street will say it's got a shit ending. Doesn't mean it's a bad film.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's people. I think sometimes people like to attach themselves to a bandwagon for the sake of attaching themselves to a bandwagon.
Yeah.
That analogy about Titanic was fucking terrible, by the way. It sounded a lot better in my head. But yeah, that's my third one. Tribalism in wrestling. I got no place for it, no time for it. I mean, 2 weeks ago I was in Basildon watching the Talks with Orcs Never Say Die. In 2 months I'm going to be at the O2 watching AW. I genuinely don't care what it is. If it's good, I want to be part of it. I'm the wrestling geezer. Simple.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It's just nonsense that oh, 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 I don't watch it, so it's shit. But
Yeah,
like, you're allowed to say you think it's shit, but if you're not
you're
watching,
entitled to an opinion. Exactly.
yeah, like you
You
just
know.
I think, but don't tell everyone else that they're wrong for liking this thing because you don't
Yeah.
like it.
No,
It's like with anything, you have your opinion, but just like
it's an
I form
opinion.
my own opinion. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I like
opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. Fact.
that. Yeah, so
You know.
I like that one a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's straight in
As my dad would say, you can use that one if you like, mate.
there. uh,
So, what was your third one? Did you have a third one?
yeah, this is my third and final one, and I only thought of this about 20 minutes before we started recording.
Okay.
Um, it's the "We want tables" chant in matches that aren't a tables
Table
match.
matches. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Because it's an
oh
instant disqualification.
yeah, yeah. It's or street fights, whatever. Like if it doesn't specify tables, like, you can
Shut
have
up.
tables, fair enough.
Yeah.
But if it's a ladder match, like the Money in the Bank match, and people
Yeah.
chanting for tables, it's
Yeah.
a ladder match and only
Yeah.
a ladder match.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
you,
It's
you
not TLC. Yeah.
yeah, exactly that. It also comes down to entitlement
Yeah.
of like we're bored, so we want this thing to make it better, even though
Yeah.
it's one of the most overused things in wrestling ever.
100%. Yep. Agreed.
It's up there with the super kick for most overused things.
Yeah.
Like,
Agreed.
and I get it, the ECW thing, the Dudleys, they made tables a huge thing, but I mean, Public Enemy did first, but you know,
Yeah.
like,
Showing some expert knowledge there, man. I'm very impressed.
I'm
Showing your age a bit there, my friend.
I like to pride myself on knowing the history. Like,
Okay.
it's
You're not
always
old like I am. You just read stuff on the internet, yeah.
I'm 28, so I know of
There you go.
Public Enemy. Didn't see a lot of them, but yeah, so yeah,
Fair enough, man.
but it's just stop asking. It's up there like it's with the what and the yeet
Yeah.
after everything. Like
Yeah. Agreed.
it is infuriating. I was fully on Conan's side at Worlds Collide
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you had an excellent match going on.
And
He
there's
was like,
saying
we
that,
want
yeah.
tables, we want tables. And then as soon as they did something insanely talented and like huge spot, that chant stopped and
Yeah.
they were enjoying the match for what it was. So it's proof that you don't need tables because you're bored.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. So I will say we're free for free then, mate. That can go in also. And I'm not just saying that so you invite me on again, but I actually agree with these three.
Yeah, just put it away. We don't. It's yeah. So is that your lot, or do you have any more?
No, that was it, mate. That was the three. I mean, as I said, if this does a million views like we know it's gonna, then obviously the next time you invite me on, I'll have three more for you, mate. You know?
Yeah, because it took me a while to think of these. To be honest, I didn't thought of them today. Like the referee on track, I thought of that on Friday night because of the TNA stuff. Because I have been
Yeah,
TNA.
yeah,
Like, right, and then the rest is like, oh yeah, and that and that and that. Yeah,
yeah. No, that's it. They'll come to you at random times, 3 o'clock in the morning, or when you're having a shower. You just write them down as and when you think of them, mate. And then
yeah, yeah. Got
we'll,
it.
I'll be interested to hear. I'll be interested to hear some more in the future. Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right then. I think we can call that a podcast.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Can I say one other thing before we go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Not wrestling related in any way, shape, or form. But obviously, as two blokes, June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Obviously, something that's close to my heart. I know you're a big advocate for it as well. So, just as a closing thing, check in on your pals, make sure everyone's all right, and just fucking be kind to each other, man.
Yeah, completely agree. This world is difficult enough,
Yeah,
and if you
100%, mate.
like, I mean, I've been very open about my mental health on these channels.
Yeah,
I've diagnosed with depression and anxiety, all that
yeah,
all that great stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
just
And we all watch wrestling to escape real life. We know
yeah,
it's not real. We know it's scripted, but it's that little break from reality that we all need. So as I said, just be kind to each other, man.
yeah,
That's it. It's not that hard. It's
yeah,
really not that hard.
just yeah, like I said, just check in
Yeah.
with people you care about and
Yeah.
just see, just ask how they are.
Yeah. Doesn't text message takes 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Done.
exactly. No, I completely agree.
That's it, man.
Yeah, so we'll call it a podcast. Appreciate you coming on. If you
Yeah.
want to let everyone know where they can follow you and like what you got coming
I'm
from
literally just on TikTok and I am at the Wrestling Geezer.
short and sweet. Of course, you
That's
can
it, man.
follow me here, there, everywhere. Although, yeah, now mainly it's TikTok and a bit of Instagram if I'm around. But yeah, you can find me. It's be on YouTube, so the Mr. Impact Craig YouTube channels, of course, and here on Spotify if you're listening to it on Spotify. Drop a little follow, drop a comment underneath, say what thought of the episode. Let us know what you would put in Wrestling Room 101. And I guess until next time, I've been that MIC. Goodbye, my friends.